tight spot. He blasts it. Barras, one-on-one with Lynch. Bouncing ball. Barras, danger.
Barras has made the move today. He's got to grab a clean, falls to the back, charging through for the Tigers. Rioli, Barras is there, picks it up quickly. He's got it to Nelson.
They didn't concede the behind, and now they might concede a goal.
He's kicked the goal. Jack's kicked the goal. Richmond back in front. This game keeps getting better and better and better.
What a game of football. Doesn't get any better, Rui.
God, he was the centre of attention, wasn't he, on Sunday? Jack Revo, welcome.
How are we?
Very good.
We've got extra time tonight.
We've got extra time.
We were thinking we were
Been
going
here for an hour and a half.
We've been
waiting. What have you been talking about?
What have we been talking about?
Oh, a bit of everything, really.
Yeah. So before we get to your events, just on Jordan first, as he departs the game, and you've lived a good deal of this with him in close proximity now.
Yes. It's obviously he's a champion player and has a CV that, I mean, he's right up there with some of the greats that have ever played the game. We just had the discussion quickly then, Robbo, whether we thought he'd be a Hall of Famer. He's a walk-up start for mine. I mean, 4 premierships. The B&F in the premiership years, they're the big ones. I reckon they're the ones where you go, right, your team is the best and your team has voted you the best player. I reckon they're gold. And I reckon that players look at those as the ones that they would love to have in their CV.
What do you admire most about, watching him play and as an opponent before you really got to know him? And did that change your perception of Jordan?
My perception definitely changed when I first met him here at 360. He was always I reckon he was a really neat player, but he was neat and he was also tough. Like, he was a beautiful kick, but when the moment that stands out to me is that one where we were running middle of Marvel Stadium now and collided with the Bulldogs player and just thought, that is uncompromisingly tough. He was a great teammate, I reckon, and you've only got to look at the people that turn up to the press conferences, and I think Ruffy's probably exactly in the same boat. They turn up to last games to know what sort of team person those sort of players are.
You played against him several times?
Yeah, well, I was fortunate enough to watch him quite a bit when I was growing up, coming through the junior ranks, and one of my favourite moments is when he did the 1, 2, 3, 4-time premiership player to whoever it was. But yeah, the thing that I admired most was, to me, he was ruthless, which is what you need to be in this game, on the ball, on the man, the way he tapped the footy. His skills were first class skills, the best and fairest in the premiership year, which was unbelievable. And he's a part of arguably one of the greatest teams of all time, and he was a massive feature in that. And from my dealings with him off the field, he's always been such a gentleman, genuine, kind person to me from the moment I met him. So
I'm wrapped at both of you talking about his ability to kick the ball. I think it gets often overlooked. Yeah. During that period when Hawthorn's style of football was to keep the football, control the football, Jordan played a large part in that with, Birchall and Hodge and Burgoyne and Mitchell coming out of the back half through Mitchell.
Well, they'd always lose contested ball, but it didn't matter because they had Mitchell and Lewis.
When they got it back, they
just didn't turn it over. So,
but he's also, I don't know if this is overrated or underrated, Jordan made a lot of right decisions with the pill. Like, it's easy to say he's a good kick, but he was able to say, right, I'm going to kick it there because that's the number one option.
Well, he was 92 kilos when he first got drafted, and he'd had a couple of pre-seasons at Pinky's Pizza, so he had to do something. He's got the chip. There's this golden thing that golden, I suppose, trait that selectors and recruiters look for, and it's the chip. It's the players,
is that what you're calling it, the footy chip?
The footy chip. They just, players that just get it. Now, physically, they might not be the greatest athletes, but they can get by. He had it. Like, he knows football like the back of his hand, and there's no way that he'll be lost to AFL football. Now, whether that's in a media capacity or a coaching capacity, there's no way that we'll lose someone that's that smart to something else.
Did you think at the end of Sunday that you might force a change in the way the rules are implemented?
Well, no, not really. I didn't. I was, I was as surprised as I think a lot of people that it was pretty quick. Like, I thought maybe something like these sort of things get brought up at the end of the season. But yeah, it was pretty sort of just happened really as a snap of a decision. You actually text me and congratulated me, and I was like, oh, what for? And then I sort of had a quick flick through the socials here.
This is the best reaction.
Oh, look at you, sucking it up.
Did you think?
Oh, you look like Freddie.
Carly reckons that Poppy's dropped the lip a couple of times like that over the last week, so now we know where she gets it from.
Did you think you were at risk in the actions on the day that you might have free kicks paid against you?
Yeah, thanks, Hodgie. Did I think no? Because like I'm just going for the ball in as pure as it is, just trying to get the ball. And I mean, I think the two examples from me on the weekend, and been alluded to the Jeremy Howe one at the start of the year or mid-season, they're the essence of AFL football. People come from other countries to watch our game, or they are from other countries and they watch our game, and they love the high-flying capacity of it. Now, there's no malice in me kicking Tom Barrass in the back of the hammy. Not even kicking, it's really pushing off. But it was brought in for obviously the instance of Toby Green, who kung fu'd a couple of people. It's completely different examples, and the wording with the intent to, the possible, is it intent to cause injury?
It's using studs in a manner likely to cause injury.
I mean, there's 1,000 to 1 that I'm going to cause an injury with.
Yeah. So Steve Hocking said today that he felt he'd put the umpire in a situation where he'd gone too far. You want to see those marks paid. There was no intention in those marks to cause any damage, and his best quote was, it was interference with the game from an administrator. And once Steve saw that, he go, you can't walk past that. So he makes the adjustment heading into the finals.
Well, I think that the AFL should be applauded for this, and there's probably a bit more room for it as well. But he's new to the game in that area, Steve Hocking, and to jump on it straight away, you saw my reaction then. If that had happened grand final day, I don't know how I or another player would react.
Did you have some contact with the umpire, Jacob Mollison, in the aftermath?
I carried it on like a pork chop there, but that's just the emotion in the game. And I thought, well, I need to reach out and one, sort of just apologise to Jacob, and might have thrown a few expletives his way in the heat of the moment. And I thought, it's the right thing to do. And I text him, and then Hayden Kennedy rang me because Jacob was worried that someone was pranking him in the apology. So in a roundabout way, it all came around. And
So you did speak to him?
Yeah, I just texted him and said, look,
So you text, you didn't speak?
No, I texted him. Yeah, this is the modern era. I mean, Buddy's Instagram that he's playing his 300th.
Did it personal?
Busy life. I don't. You can't cold call someone when they don't have your number, can you?
Don't know. You just said something. I want to jump ahead a little bit here. You just said the potential to cause injury.
Yeah.
Are you guys across the Marcus Bontempelli, Nick Haynes
I haven't seen it.
situation? So Nick Haynes right now has got a fractured esophagus.
Wow.
From this incident. Right? After the ball bangs into him, he's got a fractured esophagus. He's going to be out for up to 4 weeks.
Ooh. So
Nick Haynes was fined $2,000.
Bontempelli.
For that?
Bontempelli.
I was going to say, what did Hainsey do?
Yeah. So it's a reportable incident, and it went through the system without the complete information.
They didn't have the medical report because the medical report was done today, or the scans were done today.
So let's just do this first. The impact was low, and if the full medical information had been available, the impact would have been high.
High, at least medium.
At
least medium.
It's a straight-up suspension, unarguable.
Would you be
Bontempelli
upset?
Would be ineligible for the Brownlow.
Should we be thinking this is a bit odd, or just bad luck that you didn't have the medical report? When medical reporters put so many players out previously.
In real time, watching that, it didn't actually look like the intention was there to hurt him. I don't want to say anything, not controversial or anything, but I don't think, it doesn't look like he deliberately tries to hurt him. I just feel like it's a bit unlucky where he's hit him, if you know what I mean.
I think what you're trying to say is that if that runs the pub test, everyone would say, not a case to answer.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say, yeah.
But the lack of medical report It throws an element of grey in there for mine. Bontempelli chooses to bump. Now, if there's one thing we've learned over the last 5 years,
Yeah, we have.
you choose to bump, you deal with the consequences. Now, he hasn't caught him high, but he's still...
Well, he's got to catch him high
Well,
because
when does your esophagus finish? Is it up there?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, it was graded as high as it was. This is the odd part. It was graded. It's a reportable incident. It worked its way through, and the lack of the medical report meant it was a fine. When if the medical report's there, he gets 2 weeks.
2 weeks, which puts him out of the first final. And guess who GW West might play in the first final?
And
And Nick Haynes is out.
You could mount an argument for both sides. I think we could all of us could sit here comfortably and go, well, that's been a part of footy for a while, but the medical report says he's got a fractured esophagus. Like, it's a pretty serious injury.
Quick on the Bombers, how many touches will you have this week? 37, 38?
Are you close to the all-time record for touches? Is that?
I don't know.
I think you are.
As
I
long-
mean, you're
as
in
long
good
as we're in.
form, but more importantly, geez, it came together pretty well, didn't it?
Yeah. The last month of footy's been very pleasing. You know, when we went over to Adelaide on the weekend, we were expecting a team that is a leader around the ball with their pressure. I think our preparation into that game was first class. The way they moved the footy when given time and space is as damaging as any team in the competition. So the way we defended as a group was very pleasing, and to come away 6-point winners is very nice. So we've got to finish, obviously, the season off really strongly. We respect Essendon very highly. They challenged us the last few times, so really looking forward to it.
Watch this.
And a tender little moment with Brodie Grundy at the end.
Oh, what happened here?
What are you doing?
Oh, here we go. I'm just thanking him for all the use that he gives us midfield.
I actually saw. I saw those two together today. Adam and I had the sponsors thing to do today. And I think you purchased a pair of shoes for him, was that right? Did you look after him, or you got him a bit of gear?
I didn't.
You got to help him out, mate.
Look
Kid it down his throat, and you're about to break the possession
He is a
record.
Nike man himself too, but
Oh,
I have a lot of love for Brodie, so
All young
Very
midfielders take
affectionate.
note. That's how you treat your ruckman. Good luck. Good luck to you both for the weekend.
Thanks for waiting around.
All right, so let's meet our next NAB Rising Star nominee.